Okay, basically for today's session, okay, I will cover the topic called the Analyze data with PowerPivot. Okay, what is PowerPivot? Basically, you may treat it as a enhanced version of a pivot table. Because in the old time, okay, if you would like to do some very complicated analysis, okay, you may kickstart using the pivot table, right? However, okay, pivot table is not so powerful. The reason is because what you can do is to focus on doing analysis on a single table, right? If you would like to do an analysis for multiple tables, then you need to first of all to use a very powerful function called VLOOKUP to link all the table together and then put it into a one single table and then put into the pivot table features and then to do the analysis, right? This is the process you need to do. Okay, when you combine different tables together, then it will be a very tough job for you already, right? Maybe it will take you 2 to 3 hours, right? But now, okay, with the PowerPivot, because for the PowerPivot, Microsoft introduced a new best practice for us. That is the Power Excel process, just like this, okay? First of all, okay, in the old time, okay, what you will do, just like, first of all, you will go to the XTS and now call the ODM, right? Is it ODM? Order Management System, OMS, right? OMD or ODS, or I forget it, okay? Because I didn't have any contact with this system anymore, okay? I just call it as a XTS again, okay? Anyway, in the old time, okay, we will use the XTS, right? And then at that time, we will retrieve data, okay, from the XTS, and then finally, you will got a Excel file, right? And then you will do it. You will generate a report on that Excel file with those raw data directly retrieved from the XTS system, right? But now, okay, Microsoft, okay, suggests us to do this, okay. We retrieve data, okay, raw data from those databases, such as the SQL Server, Oracle Server, something like that. And then finally, you will get something, some file format like CSV file format, Excel file format, or SS file format, something like that. And then once you get those raw data, then they will suggest you to use a feature called Power Query to retrieve those useful data from the raw data file. Okay, so you need to know what is Power Query. Power Query you may treat that is some very simple programming language which will help you to retrieve useful data and do some very simple calculation or do very simple data process, okay, in this application. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, once you apply the Power Query features to retrieve those useful data for you to do further analysis, then you need to consider another thing. Because as I mentioned before, nowadays, okay, is the age of big data, right? Our data will not come from a single source. Maybe, okay, our data will come from different data sources. If you would like to process data from different sources, then you need to first of all to link them together, okay, and then build a relationship first, right? Or else you cannot, okay, do any process on it. In the old time, how you do build a relationship between different data sources? What you do is to use the VLOOKUP function to merge them together, right? Which are very complicated. But now, Microsoft introduced a concept called data model. You may just simply drag and drop, okay, those data set and then link them together. Then you will got something called the data model. Once you got the data model, once you build the data model, then you can put the whole data model into the PowerPivot function to do analysis. This is what the Microsoft suggests us to do analysis, okay, for the nowadays data. Is it clear? This is the process, okay, from raw data, use the Power Query to retrieve useful data, and then to link those data sources, different data sources together with some relationship and form a data model. After the data model is formed, then we'll put the data model into the PowerPivot to do the data analysis. Of course, if you would like to use some very complicated function, or maybe use some enhanced features to do some advanced analysis, then you need to know another very useful language called DAX. Basically, what is DAX? DAX is the long form for the DAX is data analysis expression. Basically, you may treat it as some advanced version Microsoft Excel function. Okay? The concept is more or less the same. Maybe you may treat the syntax is also more or less the same. But I will go in depth, in detail to show you, okay, how DAX operate in PowerPivot in this session. Okay? So, let's have a look. Okay, what we got here. Okay, let's have a look what we got here. Okay, as I mentioned before, please open the Excel file, sample recap.xlsx, right? Okay, over here, altogether, you have several different tabs. Okay, over here. Different tab contain different data. The first tab, it will contain transaction detail data. The second tab, store information. The third tab, customer information. The fourth tab, product category. The fifth tab, item information 1. The sixth tab, got the item information, something like that, right? So, if you got this set of data, okay, what should you do first, okay, in order to prepare this set of data to do further data analysis in PowerPivot? Okay, this is a question. Okay, in the previous session, okay, basically I will focus on the application on Power Query. So, at that session, I will teach you how to retrieve data from CSV file. Okay, but now for today's session, I will start from if, okay, all your data are ready inside a Excel file. So what should you do? Okay, first of all, over here, transaction details. Okay, if those data are put inside the Excel file, you need to first of all to convert this set of data into a table first. So how to do it? For example, first of all, you just go to the transaction detail spreadsheet and then move the active cell to the table. And then what next is to click the Insert tab button over here and then click the Option Table. Once you click the Option Table over here, it will automatically select the current region for you. Basically, what is the current region? Current region is that the Microsoft Excel thought this area of data is a table. Then we will call this area as a current region, right? And over here, as you can see here, okay, this table, this current region, will contain header over there, right? So this checkbox, we must take it, okay? Because once you take this option, that means they will treat the first row as the header of the table. So after these options, click OK. So what you get here is a table. But how do you know this is a type table, David? I cannot see any differences over here. Okay, please look here. Over here, you will have an additional tab create over here, which is called the table tools. Table tools. Can you see this? And over here, you've got something called design, right? And at the left-hand side of the design ribbon, can you see over here? You've got something called the table name, right? Because this is the first table that generated inside this Excel file, so the name of this table will become table 1. However, this naming notation, I don't want to because for table 1 is the first table, table 2 is the second table. This is not good. So I would like to rename it. Okay, I will use the Hungarian notation to rename it. For example, for this table, because this is about transaction, I will name it as TBL Chance, just like this, and then press enter. Okay, let me show you. Okay, the name, I will do something like that, TBL Chance. Okay. TBL chance. Basically, what is Hungarian notation? Hungarian notation is like this, okay? The first three character of the notation is basically the data type. Okay, for example, because this is a table, so I use the short form of table, TBL, to make a simple notation to let people know this is a table. And after that, because I would like to name and let people know this is a table related to transaction, so I will name it as chance. So I will name this table as TBL chance. Okay, so whenever people look at this name, then they will know this is a transaction table. Okay. And secondly, okay, we just do the rest of it. Okay, after the transaction details, okay, we'd like to convert the stored information into a table. So do the same thing. Move your active cell to this area, and then press insert table again, and then to confirm the current region, and make sure this checkbox has already been selected, and then click OK. Again, over here, under the design tab on the left hand side, please name this table as TBL store. TBL store. Okay? Do the same thing. Customer information, right? Customer information. Over here, I would like to convert it. Okay, again, how to convert it? Just simply use the insert button, and then over here, convert it into a table. Click OK, and then over here, we name it as TBL cast. TBL cast. And then now, you will got all together, you got 3 different tables, right? TBL chance, TBL store, and TBL cast, right? Is okay? So, after that, it's okay? Okay, although we have altogether 6 tables, okay, but I would like to only use, okay, 3 of them in this scenario. So, please make sure you have already built this 3 table. TBL chance, TBL store, and TBL cast. Is it clear? Okay, so what next? Basically, according to the suggestions from Microsoft, okay, at this moment, we have already prepared tables, okay, for our pivot table to do analysis, for our PowerPivot to do analysis. Okay, so what we next to do is like that. We should use the Power Query to select, okay, useful data from these tables, okay, to do further analysis. However, make it simple, okay, because I don't want to, okay, have an in detail description on Power Query, okay, for this session, because as you know, okay, I will focus on PowerPivot. So I just escape from using the Power Query, okay, to retrieve data from those raw data. I will directly, okay, put those tables into a data model, okay, in this scenario, okay. I just jump from raw data to data model. Okay, how to do it? Okay, let's have a look here. As you can see here, can you see at the top of the tabs, okay, can you see an option called the PowerPivot? Can you see one of the options called PowerPivot? I think most of you can't find this option. This is normal, because maybe this is the first time you will use PowerPivot. So that's why you cannot find it, okay? The reason why I can see PowerPivot, because this is not the first time I used PowerPivot. So if this is my first time to use PowerPivot, how to enable this function in the Excel 2016? Just have a look here. Just go to Data. just go to the data. Or inside the data is like this. Okay, in data, can you see there is an option, okay, under data. And then over here, there's a section called data tools. Can you find the button which is green in color like this? Just click this button. See what happens. Yeah, it will ask whether or not you would like to enable it. Okay, just click yes. So once you click this button, okay, and then what you can see here is that you have already opened an application called the PowerPivot for Excel editor. Can you see this? Can you see this, right? Loading, still loading. Still loading? Yes. You can see nothing inside, okay? You just, I just want you to click this button and then to enable the PowerPivot features, okay? After you can see, okay, the PowerPivot, okay, please close the no need to close the PowerPivot. Just simply press Alternate Tab and then go back to the Microsoft Excel. And then go back to the Microsoft Excel. Is it here? Is it here? Okay, now, what next? When you go back to the Microsoft Excel, can you see over here? You can see an additional tab has already been ready on the ribbon. That is the PowerPivot, right? Can you see the PowerPivot option over here? Okay, now, what we are going to do is like that. As long as I would like to omit the Power Query, because the features for Power Query is like that. If you would like to select some specific data and put them into the data model, then you will need to use the Power Query features. However, if you say all the raw data should be ready inside in the data table and no data model and no filtering at all, then you may directly retrieve all the raw data and put them into the data model. Is it clear? Okay, if no filter at all, no data massage operation at all, then you may simply omit the process of Power Query. Is it clear? Okay, now, so just go back to the transaction table over here. Move the active cell to the transaction table over here, and then select the tab option, PowerPivot, and then can you see over here, inside the ribbon, you can see an option called the Add to Data Model. Add to Data Model. Can you see this button? Please click this button. See what happens. Once you click this button, what happens? Then the system will bring you back to the PowerPivot for Excel editor. And then what you can see here is some data has already retrieved from the Excel file to the PowerPivot editor. And then over here, can you see at the bottom left corner, can you see this tab? The tab is named as TBL Chance. Can you see this tab over here? TBL Chance. That means, okay, you have already retrieved the transaction data into the data model. Is it here? And then what next? Alternate tab again, back to the Microsoft Excel, and then select the store information over here. What next? Just do the same thing. Okay, move the active cell and then put it inside the table, and then again select the Add to Data Model button. And then you can see over here, TBL store table has already retrieved from the Excel file to the pivot table, my PowerPivot editor. Again, do the same thing. Customer information, click Add to Data Model again. And then after that, altogether, you can see 3 tables are ready inside the data model of the PowerPivot editor. Can you see this TBL Chance, TBL store, and TBL cast. Is it okay? Right? So, David, what is the differences between the data inside the PowerPivot and the data inside the Microsoft Excel? Basically, the outlook is more or less the same. What are the major differences? Okay, just have a look here. Okay, please go to the PowerPivot for Excel editor. As you can see here, we've got altogether 4 tabs over there. The first one, File, second one, Home, the third one is Design, and the last one is Advanced. Inside the Home tab, can you see at the right hand side over here? Can you see? Here, we've got another view. Okay, basically, recently, what we can view is the data view. Data view, that means you can view all the data inside the table. However, if you change the view from data view to diagram view, see what happened? Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay, good. Basically, altogether, how many tables can you see in the diagram view? 3, right? 3 tables. What's the use of the diagram view? Basically, the diagram view is like that. Because as I mentioned before, okay, you would like to do analysis on 3 set of data and 3 set of data which have relationship, right? For the data view, in this environment, it's much more easier for you to build relationship between the tables. So how to do it? Okay, first of all, I would like to give you some concept. Okay, can you see over here for each table? Basically, for the first item of the table, okay, basically they are, for example, inside the customer table, we will have the customer ID. And then over here, inside the transaction table, we have something called the order ID. And then inside the store table, we have got something called the store ID. Do you know why we would like to have something called ID inside the table? The reason is very simple. For example, in Hong Kong, there may be more than 1 David Man in Hong Kong, right? Maybe 100 David Man in Hong Kong, right? And then how to differentiate this David Man from other David Man? How to differentiate? If David Man is being wanted by the Hong Kong police, then how to differentiate this David Man from other David Man? How to differentiate? How to differentiate? Very simple. Because everyone in Hong Kong will have something called PK for each single unit in Hong Kong. Do you know what is PK? Primary key. Okay, PK is not, my definition of PK is different from your definition, okay? Okay, PK, what is the meaning of primary key? Because if you would like to keep the uniqueness of a single key, then you need to, first of all, to have something called the PK. For example, in Hong Kong, every person will have a PK. That PK is what? Is Hong Kong ID, right? So, just like here, okay, for each record, if you would like to keep the uniqueness of the record, then you need to, first of all, to have an ID, or maybe have something called the PK, primary key, for each record. Just like the record in our ERP system in the phone, our record called case. So for each record, we'll have something called the case number. For those case number, they are unique, right? For the case number, it can make every record have their own uniqueness, right? Is it clear? So in the table, we need to have PK for each record. And then most of the time, we'll call this as the ID. Just like, okay, over here, we've got the customer ID and the order ID for transaction table and store ID for the store table. Is it clear? And then what's the use for the ID? Okay, just have a look over here. If you say, I would like to build relationship between the transaction table and the customer table, how to do it? The operation is very simple. Can you see over here? Customer ID, right? We may just simply drag and drop, okay? Because for the transaction, okay, we would like to, from the transaction, okay, to look for detailed information about the customer from the customer table, right? Then we may just simply drag and drop, point to the customer ID inside the table, or the transaction table, and then release. And then what you can see here is we've got a relationship has already been built between the transaction table and the customer table, right? Basically, the key for keeping the uniqueness of record, we will call it as PK, right? Permanent key. And for the key, here, inside the transaction table, because the customer ID over here is not for keeping the uniqueness of the record inside the transaction table. The reason why we would like to keep the customer ID over here is like that, because whenever we go through the record inside the transaction table, we would like to use this customer ID in each row, okay, to get in depth to look for information from the customer table to know more about the customer, right? So this key will have another name for it, although they are of the same name and of the same content. Okay, for the key over here to keep the uniqueness, we call it a PK. For the key inside another table, for what? For forwarding the system to look for other in-depth information in another table, then this key we will call it as FK. Do you know what is FK? FK means foreign key. FK is foreign key, not the definition in your mind, okay? FK and PK, okay? The PK is keeping the uniqueness, and the FK is for what? For pointing you to another table to look for in-depth information. Is it clear? Okay, PK and FK. Okay, please bear in mind. The same thing here, okay, if you say, David, I would like to build relationship between the transaction table with the store table, then what should you do? Check the store ID to where? To the store ID or inside the transaction table. Is it clear? So, what you got here is we have already built two relationships between three tables, right? Is it clear? This is first thing. And the second thing is, well, David, if the table, maybe if the data model will become very complicated, maybe there are more than 10 relationships, and then maybe the diagram will become very, very complicated. And then are there any way, okay, to look for all the relationship more clearer in a single way? The answer is yes. Okay, just please have a look over here. Can you see over here, we've got something called the design, right? Design tab. And then over here, can you see a button called the manage relationships? Manage relationships. Can you see a button over here? Manage relationships. Once you click the manage relationship, what you can see here are what? Relationship. Okay, for example, for this one, okay, it will show you, okay, this relationship is activate. And this relationship is between which table? It is between the transaction table. Can you see this? TBL trans, right? And between which table? TBL customer. And then which key you are used to link them together? We use the key, okay, customer ID from the transaction table and link to the what? The customer ID in the customer table. Is it clear? And also, here, we've got something called the cardinality. What is cardinality? What is the cardinality? Basically, this is the relationship, okay, of between the table 1 and table 2. And then over here, what you can see here is many to one relationship. Can you see this? Many to one relationship. Basically, what is many to one relationship? Let me show you. Can you see over here? For this link, okay, over here, we've got something called 1. And here, we've got an asterisk sign over here. That means this part is many. What does it mean? Okay, just have a note on these two tables. Okay, for a store, just treat it as one of the Circle K in Hong Kong, okay? In Hong Kong, we will have so many Circle K, right? For one Circle K, they will have many businesses with different customers, right? So that's why for a single Circle K, let's say the record of a Circle K, just the Circle K downstairs, okay? They will have many different businesses with different person, right? So that's why here, the downstairs Circle K may have so many transaction record over there. So that's why the relationship between the store information and the transaction data is one-to-many relationship. Is it clear? Just guess, just like what we are doing in Li and Feng. For example, in the XTS, okay, we will have a different customer. For each customer, they may have more than one transaction with Li and Feng, right? The scenario is more or less the same as that in this case. Is it clear? Okay, so that's why this relationship is one-to-many relationship. Is it clear? And then how about, okay, if we got one-to-many relationship, that means we will have some relationship called one-on-one, right? Or maybe one-to-one. And then how to cater some one-on-one relationship in the PowerPivot data model? How to cater it? Okay, let's imagine. If the relationship is one-on-one, that means the relationship, just like the relationship between your wife or your husband, right? Because the relationship between you and your husband or your wife, the relationship is one-on-one. Is it right? Hello? Is it right? Your relationship between your husband and wife, okay, should be one-on-one, right? So, okay, if I assume it is true, okay, then what should you do? I think I will suggest you to what? Will you live in a separate house? Okay, if your relationship one-on-one, I will suggest no, because the house price in Hong Kong is very expensive, right? It's very high. So that's why I would suggest you to live together, okay? To buy one apartment and then to keep your one-on-one relationship. Just like that in the database, okay? If the relationship between two tables, the relationship is one-on-one, then I will suggest you to what? To put all the record together into one table, into one single table. So that's why over here, inside the data model of the PowerPivot, you cannot see any one-on-one relationship. Because if they are really one-on-one relationship, then what should you do? Just simply put them together into one single table. Is right? Right? Okay, just like you and your husband and you with your wife, right? Just the same. Okay, however, okay, one-to-many, okay, it has already handled this relationship. One-on-one, no need to handle because we should put them all together into a single table, right? How about many-to-many relationship? Just like you and your boyfriend or you with your girlfriend, okay? Maybe your relationship is many-to-many. Then how to handle this relationship, very complicated relationship between many boy and many girl? How to handle it? For example, if you are very keen in playing the game table of 6, then you will know, okay, 6 people, okay, that means 3 to 3, right? Then what you need is what? Is an agent in between. Because if there are no agent, no organizer in between the table 3 to 3 relationship, then it is very difficult to handle. Am I right? Am I right? So you need an agent. Okay, just like over here, just have a look. Okay, for the store and customer. Just like the scenario in Circle K. Okay, just think about it. Okay, can you guess? Basically, the relationship between customer and Circle K's, their relationship is many-to-many. The reason why? Because many customers in Hong Kong can visit many Circle K in Hong Kong and give business to many Circle K in Hong Kong, right? So that's why the relationship between Hong Kong citizen and Circle K shops in Hong Kong, the relationship is already many-to-many relationship. Just like the scenario here, many store map to many customer. Am I right? So what we need to looking for is something like an agent in between these two relationships. So that's why we'll build a transaction table in between to manage this many-to-many relationship. Is it clear? Hello? I think most of you didn't have any experience of playing the table for 6 game, right? No, right? You should try it, okay? Okay, and then you will know more about database, okay? Okay, this relationship is many-to-many, okay? Many store to many customers. So that's why we will need to have a table called transaction to manage the relationship. Is it clear? So that's why, okay, for many-to-many relationship, we can use an additional transaction table to put in between these two tables. For one-to-many, it has already handled it. For one-on-one relationship, we should put them together into one single table. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, now, another thing I would like to mention. Can you see something like this? Can you see there is an arrow over here? Can you see there is an arrow over here? Can you see an arrow over here? The arrow is from the table store to the table transaction. Here, the same, okay, from the table customer to the what? Point to the table transaction. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, just have a look over here. Okay, I have some handout. Okay, just have a look. Okay, we call this thing as the filter direction. Okay, I just want to show you like this. Filter direction. Filter direction. What does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? Okay, just like this. Okay, I should put in this way. Okay, if the relationship, okay, is point from the customer to the transaction, we call the customer table is on the upstream, and the transaction table is in the downstream. What does it mean? That means if we use this data model to formulate a PowerPivot table, then what we should do is to use the customer tables information to filter those data inside the transaction table. Is it clear? Do you know what I mean? Okay, because, okay, as you can see here, again, we call this one is upstream and this one is downstream. That means if we would like to use the PowerPivot analysis, okay, over here, then we should use the fields inside the customer table to filter those records in the downstream table. Of course, if you say, is it possible for us to do in a reverse way? Is it possible for us to use the reverse to use those fields inside the downstream table to filter those information inside the upstream table? The answer is no. So please bear in mind, this is very important. Once you build up the relationship, make sure, okay, what we can do here is to use the upstream table to filter the downstream table. You cannot do it in a reverse way. Is it clear? The same thing over here. Because as you know, as you can see here, the table store is on the upstream. That means we can make use of the upstream table to filter those tables in the downstream. That means we can use the fields inside the upstream table store to filter those records in the table transaction. Is it clear? So, how's it? I cannot imagine what will happen. Okay, just have a look how to create a pivot table first. Okay, now just go back to the Home tab. Can you see here inside the Home tab? Can you see an option called pivot table, right? Pivot table. Just click the pivot table. See what happens. Once you click the pivot table, and then the Microsoft Excel will suggest you to build a new spreadsheet to do the PowerPivot analysis. Okay, I just select the new worksheet and then click OK. So what happened? Okay, just have a look over here. Okay, on your right hand side, okay, compare with the old version. Okay, that means the pivot table. Okay, just for a moment. Okay, basically, if you have some experience of using the pivot table, then you will find that, okay, the layout is more or less the same, okay, compared with the pivot table. Okay. However, what are the major differences? Okay. First of all, okay, as you can see here on your right hand side, okay, maybe we can adjust the layout of the pivot table view panel on the right hand side. Basically, if you click the button over here, choose, you may change the layout like this. Because the screen is so small over here, so I would like to change the layout like this. Okay, much more easier for you to have a look. Okay, on what I'm doing right now here. Okay. Basically, okay, if I change the layout like this, okay, for example, if I say, David, okay, I would like to do some analysis. Okay, on the left hand side over here, what you can see here is no longer just like fields, but what you can see here are tables. If you click the expand button over here, you can see the detailed fields, okay, detailed information of the fields inside each table, just like what I'm doing here right now. Expand the TBL customer, TBL store, and click here, okay, expand the TBL chance, just like this. Is it clear? Okay, now what I'm going to do is the next thing, okay, just have a look here, okay, because we are going to do some filtering, right? Maybe, okay, we would like to get some information according to, for example, like here, we would like to do some analysis on the education level and the quantity of the between the education level of our customer and the quantity of they purchase, okay, from our company. Okay, so how to do it? Just have a look here. For the customer over here, I just drag and drop the education from the TBL customer table to the rows over here, education. Then it will show you college, postgraduate, primary school, secondary school, and undergraduate, right? And then what next? Okay, you just scroll down to the transaction, and then over here we've got something called the invoice price, right? We just simply drag and drop the invoice price, from here to there. So what you can see here is the sum of invoice price over here. Okay, one thing I would like to remind you, basically in the pivot table, for the value, the calculate over here, that means that we will carry out some calculation. And for the result of this kind of calculation, we will call this calculation as something called the measures, okay? And for this one, because we just simply drag and drop, without some further setting on the calculation, and then we will call this kind, sorry, we will call this kind of measure called implicit measure. Implicit measure. That means all the detailed setting of the calculation will be done by the computer itself. So we will call this kind of measure called implicit measure. If you say, well, David, after we sum up, all the invoice price together, we find that, the calculation, will become like this. If we would like to, make it look better and easier to understand, the allocation of the invoice. So how to do it? Very simple. We may just simply highlight this area and press Ctrl+Shift+4 to change them back to dollar currency format. Do you remember what is Ctrl+Shift+4? Ctrl+Shift+4 that means change to dollar format. Ctrl+Shift+5 that means change to percentage format, right? And then what next? Because most of the time we would like to visualize our data. So I would suggest you to highlight this section first and then go to the home option over here and then select the conditional formatting and then select the option data bar like this. And then what you can see here is to show data in a graphical way. Is it clear? Is it clear? However, if you say, David, it's not nice looking, or maybe this kind of analysis is not so accurate because we don't know the number of invoice, from each group of people, in in the table because of maybe the number of people, okay, who are graduate from college is more than that from the primary school. So that's why they will have this effect. Okay, so if you would like to adjust the calculation, very simple. Just go to the value over here, click once, and then choose the value field setting over here inside the pop-up dialog box. And then over here, choose the average formula. Click OK. Then the calculation will show you the average invoice price are more or less the same, even though they are come from different education level. Of course, if you say, David, is it possible to further, okay, the analysis? The answer is yes. Okay, how to do it? Let's say, okay, if we put also the sets, okay, in the row, see what happens. Okay, if we drag and drop like this way, row, and what inside is education and then sex, and then the analysis will become like this. College, female, male, female, male, then they will have a further analysis and further result will be given to you. If you say, I would like to do it in an reverse way, just like this, okay, first of all, sex and then education, drag and drop, and then the result is like this. Okay, after this analysis, okay, we are sure one thing, that is, okay, the volume or maybe the price of each invoice is nothing related to their education level and their sex, okay, because all are the same, nearly the same, right? So what next? Okay, maybe we do one more thing, that is about the dates of birth, okay? Okay, for more easier for us to have a look, okay, we just simply remove the education and sex as well. We just simply drag and drop the dates of birth over here, and then see what happened. And then what we got here is, okay, the birth year and the volume, the average price of the invoice. If we would like to visualize, okay, this set of data, very simple. Highlight this area again, and then choose the data bar again. Then we may have a look, okay, on the allocation of the price of the invoice. As you can see here, okay, for each age group, okay, they will have a more contribution to our revenue, okay, compared with other age group. Can you see this? Okay, is it here? Okay, this is very simple. However, David, you say something that is like this. Okay, you say, well, if okay, we can filter data. Okay, with the upstream table to filter those the information. Okay, for the downstream table, right? Just like this, right? The customer filter the transaction. How about, okay, can we use, okay, those data, okay, in transaction table to filter those from the table of a customer? Okay, I just do it in a reverse way. See what happened. Okay, I just remove all the fields over here. Okay, and now what I'm doing is to, okay, use the transaction over here. Let's say I use the item ID. Put the item ID over here, okay, columns. And then over here, I will use the customer information like the customer ID and put over the value. See what happened? What happened? As I mentioned before, okay, we can only use what? Use the upstream table to filter those information from the downstream table, right? If I do it in a reverse way, as you can see here, I use the item ID. Item ID is come from the downstream table, right? To filter and do analysis for those information from the upstream data, just like the customer ID in the upstream table called the customer table, right? And what happened? The analysis is in a mess. Or they will provide the same number, okay, for us. That is 9,206, something like that. That means, okay, no filtration at all. And over here, they will also prompt an error message for us and say, okay, there should be no relationship between these two tables. You cannot do any analysis. Okay, if you say, oh, no relationship, no, they have relationship. However, the problem is, okay, transaction table is in the downstream. They cannot filter information for the upstream table. Is it clear? Hello, is it clear? This is very important because in the old time, people may say, well, David, I have already built up relationship for the tables. However, they forget one thing, that is, only upstream table can filter downstream table. In the reverse way, you cannot do it, you can do nothing, right? Is it clear? This is point number one. Point number two, how about like this? David, I can see table customer and table stock, right? Both of them are upstream, right? Both of them are upstream. Is it possible, okay, for us, okay, to do something like this, okay? To use the customer ID to do some analysis on the customer ID. Is it possible? Or just have a look, see whether it is possible. Okay, just do it in a reverse way, okay, like this, okay. Go to the customer ID. No. Use the store ID. Store ID here, drag and drop to the rows. Okay, it will show you all the store ID over here, right, in the row. And then again, okay, we would like to count the number of customers for each store, right? Try, see whether it is worse. Finally, we find that, okay, we got something like this. Can you see this? How come? All of them are money. Very easy. Okay, because we just Control-Shift tutor. Because we change the format to dollar. Okay, so that's why all of them will become okay like this. That means if both of them are on the same level, like the one here, okay, then we can do analysis. Okay, for this scenario it's like this. Okay, we just tell people, say, this is the relationship between store, okay, to check, okay, each store have how many number of customer, okay, to purchase have transaction with that store. Then you may just simply, okay, highlight that and then use a graphical way, okay, conditional formatting and data bar to check the number of customers for each store. And then finally you find that, oh, more or less the same. Not so much difference between them. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, this is point number one. And point number two. Over here, as I mentioned, okay, because we find that, okay, over here. Okay, up to this moment, any question? Up to this moment, any questions? No question. That's good. That's good. Okay. Another thing, drag and drop over here. Okay, again. Now, if we say, oh, David, I've got the, over here, we've got the store table. Okay, just expand the table store. Okay, and then also just expand the table transaction, right? Okay, basically for the store here, we've got something called the store ID, right? Store ID. And over here, we also got store ID. Okay, however, for this store ID, is the what? Is the foreign key, okay, to point to the store, okay, in the table store. Am I right? For store over here, basically, this one is the primary key, and for this one is the foreign key. And basically, if we would like to purchase, if we would like to perform filtering, okay, as I mentioned before, you must use the upstream table to filter those tables in the downstream, right? In order to prevent, okay, you from selecting the wrong field, because basically, can you see here? In TBL store, we've got the store ID. And also in the transaction, also we got the store ID. In order to prevent you from selecting the store ID inside the transaction table, then what should you do? Just do something like this. Okay, just move here in transaction table. Just select the store ID over here and then right click. Can you see over here we've got something called the Hide from Client Tools. Can you see this option? Hide from Client Tools. Hide from Client Tools. Click the Hide from Client Tools. See what happened. And then what you can see here is, okay, store ID is gray, right? Become gray. Store ID become gray. Okay, at the same time, because also we know that for store ID over here inside the TBL customer table, okay, basically this one is used to filter, okay, the data inside the TBL trans. So that's why the customer ID over here inside the TBL transaction table is useless. So again, right click here, hide from the client tools. See what happened. Okay. Alternate tab. Fall back here. As I mentioned before, okay, in the TBL store ID, we still have the store ID over here, right? However, over here, can you still find the store ID inside the TBL trans table? No. Also, can you also find the can you also find the customer ID over here inside the transaction table? No. This is the function for the hide from the client tools. That means after you hide from the client tools, you will not see that field inside the pivot table pivot table tools. Is it clear? For example, like here, we may be making use of the store name, drag and drop the store name to the row fields over here, and then again, we'll use the quantity over there, drag and drop to the values over here. And also, if you say, well, David, I would like to, okay, use the column, okay, which will be to use the marital status of the customer to do some analysis. Drag and drop the marital status to columns and see what happens. We can generate a field, okay, like this. For those married, okay, transaction, how many over there, okay? Sum of the quantity. And here also, okay, how many people who are single, okay, to buy stuff, okay, from the from this shop, 可是店, okay. Is it clear? Please please remind yourself one thing that is very important. That is the direction of the filter. Okay, please remind you once again, okay, basically here inside the PowerPivot, for the filters, rows, and columns, these three sections are used for selecting which field for filtering. For example, like here, we just select the store name and marital status to filter the data. And over here, we'll ask the system to calculate the measure for the quantity for us. So that's why for those upstream table, we should put inside the filter over here. For the filter sessions, row sessions, and also the column sessions. For those downstream data, like here the quantity inside the transaction table, we should put inside the value session over there for further analysis. This is the mechanism. Is it clear? Please bear in mind, this is very important. Up to this moment, any questions? No questions. Good. Hi. Table 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is very important. Okay, the reason why I would like you to change the name from the Excel spreadsheet first is that is the reason. Okay, let me show you. Okay, basically, okay, I have already told you. Okay, because at the very beginning, Okay, I've already told you, okay, in the transaction details, basically this is the data source, right? We would like to convert it into an Excel data table, right? So that's why in the Excel data table, I've already changed the name to TBL chance, right? So when we change the name to TBL chance, if we add this table to the data model, then they will directly use this name in the data model. However, a colleague say, okay, how come I have already changed the name in the data model? How come it's still showing me table 1, table 2, table 3 in the Microsoft Excel? This is very simple because you just change the name in the data model, not in the Microsoft Excel. So that's why the name are different. So that's why I will ask you and suggest you to change the name of the table at the very beginning inside the Microsoft Excel. This is very important. Okay, just like what we learn from Chinese, that is 君子之學貴臣始. Okay, this is very important. At the very beginning, don't do something wrong. If you do something wrong at the very beginning, then the rest of them are wrong. Okay, even though you correct them at that moment, this is no use. Okay, you need to fall back at the very beginning to change it and modify it. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, is it clear? Great. Okay. And now, another thing that is again. Go back to the diagram view. Go back to the diagram view. Okay, over there. We still have something called the like this. Okay, city address. Okay, can you see here? We've got something called the city and address. Basically, for the city and address, basically they are address, right, of the store. If you say, well, David, I would like to have some better management on the table. For example, I would like to give a hierarchy for it. What is a hierarchy? Okay, just follow my step first, okay? Over here, select both the city and address over here, and then right click. And then what you can see here is the create hierarchy. The create hierarchy, right? Just click the, operation cannot be performed because another operation is in progress. How come? I did something wrong. How come? Just have a look here first. What has been done? I know what happened. Okay, now should be okay right now. Highlight these two options. Build hierarchy. Yes. Do you know what happened? Because I have typed something inside this table, so that's why. Okay, I cannot modify the data structure over here. Okay, after that, what happened? Okay, I just built a hierarchy 1. Okay, that means I may change the name of this hierarchy to what? To full address. This is actually a method for you, to collapse and expand to view your table. Okay, this is only a method, for this purpose only, But I need to tell you, how to do it, because in the upcoming scenario, I will use the hierarchy setting, in the upcoming examples. So that's why I would like to teach you first, That means, in the diagram, just have a summary, on what I have told you, If you would like to hide them from the pivot table, just right click, and then what? And then hide from the current tools. If you would like to make some hierarchy, for certain fields, and provide a name, to consolidate these fields, just simply highlight the fields over here, and then right click and choose create hierarchy. Is it clear? Very simple. And now, the last thing for this example. Just fall back to the pivot table over here. Can you see here, we've got two tabs over here. One is all, the other is called active. Can you see something like this? One is all and the other is active. What are they? What are they? Active and all. Basically, because in the upcoming future, you may see so many different data model. Maybe that kind of data model maybe have more than 10 or 20 tables altogether inside data table. However, when you performing pivot table analysis, maybe not all the table are necessary. So, in this scenario, most of the time, okay, we will suggest people to hide some table in this scenario. For example, over here, we've got active and all table. Basically, for all, you can see all the data source, okay, inside the Microsoft Excel. However, in active, okay, they just only show those active table. Let me just show you how to do it. Okay, if you say, well, David, okay, for those information from the customer table is no more necessary, okay, in the upcoming future for my pivot table analysis, I would like to hide them, then what should I do? Right, Kate? I can't do it because it is already activated. This is not a good example. Okay, let me show you. Okay, for example, okay, if for those okay scenario, if you can put it back, okay, to the to hide them from the active tab, if you right-click the table, okay, then you can see an option called the remove from the active table tabs. Can you see this? And then after you click this option, then it will be hide, okay, from the active tab. That means after you select this option, over here what you can see is only the active tab and also the transaction tab. Okay? However, the reason why I cannot hide them is because, okay, I've already used all the fields come from this V table. So that's why I cannot hide them at this moment. Of course, if you say, then is it possible for you to hide now? Yes, because I have already removed, okay, the field from the store. So now, I just demonstrate. Right, Kate? Can you see here? I may just simply remove from the active tab. So finally, what happened? In the active tab, I can see only two tables. However, in the all tab, I can see all the table over here. Is it here? If you say, David, although I didn't use any field to do analysis for this pivot analysis, I still want to add this this store table to the active tab. Then what should I do? Right click, shown in active tab. After this process, you can see all the table is visible inside the active tab. Is it clear? Good. Any questions up to this moment? No. If so, then we'll go in depth, okay, to other, okay, more difficult topic. Okay, more difficult topic. Okay, if so, now just go to close this table. Just close this table. And then what next? Because I have already sent you all together maybe many sample Excel file, right? Over there, you can still find another table called the sample.xlsx table, right? Just open this one. See what happened. Sample.xlsx table. .xlsx. Can you see this? I think most of you has already received my Excel file, okay, as sample.xlsx, right? And then once you open the XLSX file, then you can see a warning message say, okay, whether or not you would like to enable the data connection. Okay, what is that actually? Basically, if you attend the session I provided before on the Power Query, okay, because of the previous lesson, okay, I will focus on how to use the Power Query to retrieve data from the CSV files, okay? And then at that time, I will teach you how to create something called connection to retrieve those data into the data model. So that's why for this table, okay, it is so obvious that, okay, it is using the Power Query to retrieve data to the data model. So that's why, because there's no connection at all, okay, to connect to the CSV file, because what I sent to you is only an Excel file. That means no connection at all to those source data from CSV file. So that's why it will ask, okay, whether or not you would like to still enable the content connection. Okay, what you should do is to say yes, enable the content. Okay, after you receive this table, okay, you may ask, okay, how come, David, you send me such a large file without anything inside the Excel file? What you want to do? Okay, maybe let me show you, okay, what I would like to demonstrate. Okay, first of all, okay, as a recap, okay, I would like to show you something about the Power Query, because for this Excel file, it has already got some data put inside the Power Query, and also have some data put inside the data model. Okay, let me show you how to view those things. Okay, first of all, please click this tab, data. Please click this tab, data, and then over here. Okay, besides, okay, the data choose over here, where you can see the data management icon. Okay, and also at this part, this section, something called the query and connection. You can see you can find an option called the query and connection. Can you see the query and connections? Okay, just click the query and connection. See what happened. Because this session is talking something about the Power Query, I want to give you some concept, okay, on what is Power Query. Basically, what is the Power Query? As you can see here, they are the Power Query. Basically, what are they at Power Query? Okay, just have a look. In this example, I have altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have already altogether I create 7 Power Query to retrieve data from 7 different data sources. Is it clear? So that's why you can find this 7 query. Okay. If you say, I would like to have a look on the detailed information about the query, then what should I do? Very simple. Just simply double click one of them. Let's say, I just simply double click the product underscore lookup. Basically, this is the Power Query. Power Query, okay, I just give you some insight only. Okay, I will not go in depth to teach you step by step on how to operate Power Query now. Okay. As you can see here on the right hand side, what you can see on the right hand side here, the step has already applied, okay, to the Power Query. These steps are used to retrieve data and to massage data and convert their format as well. So that's why, as I mentioned before, if you would like to massage data or grab data, maybe grab some specific data from the raw data source, then you must use the Power Query to do it for you. Okay? That's why I say Power Query is a must in that scenario. However, in our previous scenario, the reason why we don't want to use the Power Query because I would like to grab all the data and put them all into our data model. So that's why I can kick away the Power Query at that scenario. Okay, but for generic case, okay, I will suggest you to use Power Query to massage data, retrieve those useful information, and put them into the data model beforehand. Because most of the time, for example, those raw data from the HTS, if you directly grab them to the data model, I think most of the time you will encounter error when doing data analysis. So that's why Power Query is a very important gatekeeper to make sure no error at all in the PowerPivot analysis. That's what I would like to tell you. If you really want to know more about Power Query, okay, please wait for my Excel Level 2 session, okay, in the upcoming month, okay? Okay, this is what Power Query, okay? But now, okay, just simply close the Power Query. Okay, click the close button over here. Okay, and also, if you would like to close the Power Query, okay, just click the close button over here. And now, what I would like you to look at is something in the PowerPivot. Please click the PowerPivot option over here, and then over there, what you can see here is something called the Manage. Click Manage, and then you can see, okay, basically all the data has already been retrieved, okay, to the data model of the PowerPivot table. Is it here? And then what next? Okay, I will suggest you to click the what? Click the diagram view, see what happened. Basically, what you can find here is a simple ER diagram. Simple ER diagram, okay? Most of the time, okay, data structure, okay, for PowerPivot is more or less like this, okay. The reason why I would like to show you some simple stuff with 3 tables, okay, because to make you understand easier, okay. Not okay. In generic case, okay, this is one of the this is already very simple. This structure is already very simple, okay. Just have a look, okay, on this table, okay. Once again, okay, just like doing revision. If I would like to know, okay, the relationship between the tables over here, which option should you choose? From the what? Sign, and then over here, you can see something called the manage relationship, right? And then you can see in one knot, okay, altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, altogether. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 relationship altogether. However, how come? Okay, not all of them are active. We can find one of them. The active status is no. Why? Just have a look. Another thing I would like you to have a look. That is, basically all relationship inside PowerPivot, all of them are what? Are mainly to one relationship. Okay, it is for sure. Okay. And here also, it also show you, okay, the direction of the filter as well, right? Okay, to returns, can you see this? Okay, it just show you the direction of the arrow in the relationship. Okay, just have a look here. Okay, which relationship is inactive? That is this one. Because in some very complicated scenario, if we enable or activate both relationships like this, then maybe the analysis will become in a mess. So sometimes, okay, we need to alter the relationship. Sometimes active relationship 1, sometimes enable the relationship 2. Just do it whenever you need that relationship to do analysis. Okay, so that's why we have an inactivate option. Okay, just like what I'm doing here. Okay, if let's say, okay, the dotted line shows inactivate relationship, I just point to this inactivate relationship and right click and see here. You may mark it to activate again. Of course, if you say, wow, David, originally, okay, this relationship is activate. If I would like to inactivate it, what should I do? Right click it and mark it as inactivate. The operation is that simple. Okay? But now, at this moment, since this table is very, very complicated, okay, I just want you to go for it first. Okay? Okay, to learn it, okay, step by step. Okay? First of all, what is this? Do you remember what is this? This is what? Hierarchy. Because if you would like to hide some fields, okay, you may making use of the hierarchy to hide some fields. Basically, all these fields just the same as that of the normal field. You just put it in another format only. Okay, that is that simple. If you would like to hide them, then making use of the hierarchy. And for those fields which are gray in color, what does that mean? That means it is hide from the kind tools. That means we will not sort these fields in the what? In the PowerPivot. Is here, and also here, the direction is very important. Okay, it will show you which table is upstream and which table is downstream. Only those tables in the upstream can filter the data in the downstream. Is it here? Okay, this is very important. Now, okay, let's do something like this. Okay, just go to the one of the table. Just go to one of the table. Okay, is it here? Okay, okay. I would like you to learn the relationship between the table inside out first. Okay, now then you already know the relationship between the table, right? Now I would like to do some further analysis for each table. Okay, just have a look on the maybe let's say okay the product lookup. Okay, product lookup table. Just okay. Fall back to the home and data view. Fall back to the data view, and then over here, select the tab called the product lookup inside the PowerPivot table. PowerPivot inside PowerPivot. Is it here? Okay, here is the PowerPivot. Okay, select which option? The product underscore lookup table. Is it here? Can you get to this area? Okay, good. Now, just have a note on this environment. First of all, the outlook of this environment is more or less like that of the Microsoft Excel, right? But some differences in between. As you can see here at the bottom part of the table, can you see we've got some area without the row numbers over here, right? And how we call this area is the calculation area. Let me show you. If you would like to switch off this calculation area, that is very simple. Remove it. Calculation area. Can you see the button over here, calculation area? Enable it, remove it. Enable it, remove it. Can you see this? Okay. For those things, okay, for example, like some aggregate analysis, like to calculate some average of certain row, sum up a certain row of information from the table, or maybe count the number of rows, okay, in the table. This can be called the aggregate analysis. For this kind of calculation, most of the time we will enable the calculation area and type the equation over the calculation area to calculate it. Then we will call this kind of calculation as measures. Is it clear? For measures in PowerPivot, we will treat it as the aggregate analysis for the table. Just like to calculate the average of a certain number of calculate the average, some calculation, count calculation, or maybe standard deviation calculation. This kind of aggregate analysis, we will call this kind of calculation as measures. Is it clear? If you say, David, I don't want to do measure, I would like to do some calculation for each row. Just like at the right hand side, can you see something called the add column? We will call such calculation as calculated column. We will call this kind of calculation as calculated column. We will specifically to give calculation on certain row. Then this kind of calculation we will call it as calculated columns. Calculated columns. What we can do here is to take place in the add column view. Since there are so many data inside this Excel file, okay, the memory run out easily. So if you need to do some very complicated analysis, I would suggest you to ask your boss for a better computer. Okay. For example, my computer is good enough, you know, with an i7 core i7 CPU, and also with a very powerful GPU graphic card. Okay, that is good enough for me. Okay, and now, okay, just like this. Okay, now let us start from calculate column. Okay, see how to do it. Okay, see how to do it. First of all, okay, have a look here. Okay, for each row. Okay, the product name is Washington Cream Soda, something like that, right? This is the Washington Cream Soda. And here is the product SKU. And here is the product retail price. Here is the product cost, product weight, and recyclable. And here is no fat and discounted price, right? If I say I would like to calculate the profit, we can make, okay, from this item, okay, the profit. How to calculate the profit? Very simple. How to do it? Just simply, okay, use the product retail price to minus the product cost, right? That is very simple. So how to do it? Okay, so after I click here, double click here, add column. And then over here, I click the formula bar over here. And then I drag and drop, make it larger. Okay, because I would like to make my formula visible. So I just drag and drop to make the written, okay, the formula bar. How to do it? Just like this. Drag and drop. And then over here, I just use the press the Control key and to use the mouse wheel, okay, to scroll up and down. and then you can adjust, okay, the character size inside the formula bar. Is it here? Hi. Is it here? So, of course, if you use the touchpad, very easy. Just drag and drop. Okay, use the touchpad, and also you can do it. Okay, now what I'm doing to do is press equal. Equal to what? Equal to the product retail price minus the product underscore cost, right? How to do it? Equal to click this field. As you can see here, once I click this field, what happened? It will use a table format, okay, to call the whole column to do the calculation. What does it mean, okay, by this coding? It means, okay, we will call the table, call the product underscore lookup table, and call which column? The product underscore retail column. And do what? Minus what? Okay, because as I can remember, okay, it is come from the product underscore lookup, right? And I type product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T, product underscore lookup. And then what? When you typing, keep on typing, okay, there will be have some hint over there. You may use the arrow key, move up and down to select the corresponding field, okay, for the calculation. For example, for this one, okay, I need to select the product underscore lookup, and for the product underscore cost, like this one. Am I right? After that, press the key enter. Then it prompts, okay, that product underscore lookup, product underscore retail underscore price will minus product underscore lookup, product underscore cost. Is it right? After that, enter again. Okay, congratulations, you have already created your first calculated column with DAX expression in PowerPivot. In the future, you can update your resume, say, you know what is DAX. Wow! Of course, if you say, well, David, how come the new column is named as what? Calculated column 1. Okay, I want to rename it. How to rename it? Simple. Just double click and say, okay, this one is profit. Okay, P-R-O-F-I-T, profit. Got it, right? And also, it say, well, David, I've got something called the discounted price. Discounted price, right? Discounted price. I would like to calculate the percentage off, okay, from the discounted price, okay, with the retail price, okay. So how to do it? Just do the same thing here, okay. We may type the formula like this: equal to what? Equal to equal to discount price. This one minus, I should open bracket first. This one, okay, the report price minus the discount price, close bracket, and divided by this. Hey, come on, be simple, okay. Product underscore lookup, product underscore retail underscore price minus discount price, okay, just a curly bracket, and then divided by the product underscore retail price. Okay, you may just maybe make it simple, okay, make it simple. 1 minus, okay, retail price divided by the discount price. It should be like this. Sorry. Equal to retail price divided by the discount price. 唔係喎，調翻轉講錯。因為我想個正數喎 ，sorry 啊。1 minus, okay, this price divided by this price. Yes. It's okay. 1 minus discount price divided by product retail price. Is it okay? Is it okay? Make it simpler. After that, enter. Uh-oh, got it. Okay, this one is the percentage. Discount. D-I-S-C-O-U-N-T. Discount. Okay? Of course, if you say, David, I would like to change it, okay, to percentage, how to do it? Select this column, and then over there, we've got home. And then inside home, we've got a percentage, right? For percentage, okay, correct to the 2 decimal place, right? You may making use of this two feature to correct the significance to 2 decimal place. Just over here, formatting, under the home tab. Is it here? Right? Is it here? Of course, if you say, wow, David, wow, it's so powerful, okay? You can add additional column one by one over here, okay? It's so great. It's so great. However, one more thing I would like to tell you. Okay, for the divide operation over here in the discount column, okay? You will say, okay, 1 minus product underscore lookup discounted price divided by the product underscore retail price. I think this is okay. However, sometimes for data entry, they may enter something very interesting. For example, maybe the product retail price will become 0, right? Sometimes in the data table. If product underscore retail price is equal to 0, then what happens? Error, right? So that's why in the DAX formula, we seldom use divide, this operation. We'll use something like this, D-I-V-I-D-E, divide. Instead, okay, for this one, it's denominator, and also if the denominator is some error, then we'll return 0 for it. You may type in this way. Is it clear? Is it clear? Because most of the time, especially for data analysis, because most of the time maybe have some missing link, missing field. For missing field in numerical calculation, we treat it as the value 0. If okay, the retail price becomes 0, then the division calculation over here will give an error. So most of the time in DAX expression, we'll use divide formula. Okay, instead using the divide operator. Is it clear? This is very important. See? Hey, okay? And now, another thing. If we say, well, we have already provided calculated column, then what happened to our diagram view? Okay, in diagram view, okay, what we can see? Okay, just have a look here. Go to the design. Oh, look, sorry, home. Okay, click the diagram view. Click the diagram view. Okay, what I'm doing right now is to adding something inside the product lookup table, right? If you drag and drop, okay, to written. Okay, yeah. This table. See what happened? Okay, I've got in addition AR profit. You see the profit field over here. This is newly added, and also the discount field. Can you see this? That means after the calculation, okay, after we add some calculated field over there, then inside the table, okay, we got some additional column over here, over there. Is it clear? Okay, that's great. Okay. This is point number 1. And point number 2. Okay, just have a look. Okay, for example, for the let's say, okay, here I would like to give a calculation, okay, on counting the number of transactions, okay, in this table, in the transaction table, number of transactions, okay, in the transaction table. Okay, so what should I do? What should I do is to what? To given some calculation in this table, right? So what should I do? Go back to the data view. We have already completed calculation under the product underscore lookup table, right? And now we go to the transaction table. First of all, as you can see here, most of the column has already is turned to gray, right? That means we have already applied the hide from kind tools option in the diagram view, right? And over here, we have already enabled the calculation area, right? So what I'm going to do is add something called the measure in the calculation area to let people know the number of transactions in this table. So what should I do? If you like to add some new column for calculation of each row, then you need to add calculated column over here. For measures for the whole table, especially for those aggregate analysis like doing FH, sum, count, this kind of operation, then you need to do it inside the calculation area. So how to do it? Just click here, double click one of the cell inside under the calculation area, and again go to the formula bar and type here. Because I would like to give a name for this measure, let's say lump underscore chance, something like that. This is the name of the measure. Then what I should do here to give a colon. That means I have already defined the name, okay, for the measure. Okay, the name and the colon. That means this part is the name of the measure. And then what next? Follow is the formula. Equal to what? Equal to count rows. Count the number of rows. Of what? Of a certain table. What's the name of this table? Transaction, right? Transactions. Yes. Got this? That means this aggregate formula, count rows, count the number of rows inside this table transactions. What next? Enter. Then what you got here is the calculation for the number of transaction over here, lump underscore transaction. And then the number should be 206,009,000. That means 2 million. Okay, 2 million rows over there. Okay? If you say, well, for calculated columns, okay, then we can see the fields, okay, inside the diagram view. How about the measures? Okay, what we can see inside the diagram view? Just get a note over here, diagram view. We have already added a measure inside the transaction table. So just have a look on the transaction table. For the fields, calculated fields, they look more or less like those normal columns, okay, in the table, right? Just like the profit and discount. However, for those measures for the table, for doing those aggregate analysis like calculating count, FH, standard deviation, something like that, then this kind of fields, okay, we will got an icon, like a formula icon over there. Can you see this? This is the operation of the measures. Okay, if you would like to have more measures, then you might type more under the calculated area inside each table. Is it clear? Is it clear? So now another thing, that is, okay, after we add these kind of things, okay, calculated field, calculated column, and measures in the table, what is it means to us? Okay, in this scenario, it is meaningless for us because, okay, we just add some additional information to the table only. However, this kind of additional columns and additional measures, which really may help us to do pivot table analysis. Okay, just have a note on how it helps us to do the analysis. Okay, click again the pivot table option over here. Click pivot table options. And then over here, it will ask whether or not I would like to add an additional spreadsheet to do the PowerPivot sorry, calculation. So over there, new worksheet. Okay. Okay, because my Excel, okay, it will have a warning message say, okay, the autosave option is disabled. Okay, I don't want to disturb you, so I just click the close button to close the warning message. Now, what you got here is what? It's a pivot table. Okay, over here, okay, here is the All tab. So what you can see here are all the information here. Okay, because as I mentioned before, okay, not only the tables, but also for those Power QV information also been found over here. Can you see this? Maybe this will disturb us. So that's why active tab is very important. So if you would like to make use of the active tab, that is very easy. For example, for me, I would like to make use of the customer lookup, product lookup, returns, store lookup, and transaction. Okay, for doing the pivot table analysis. So what should I do? Okay, just like this. Customer lookup, right click, show in active tab. Again, product lookup, right click, show in active tab. Returns, right click, show in active tab. Store lookup, right click, show in active tab. Transaction lookup, right click, show in active tab. After I did this, jump to the active tab. What you get here is only those tables which are being activated can be shown under the active tab. Then it can help you to make the view more clearer and no more disruption. Stuttering. Okay, is it clear? So over here, we've got the customer lookup, product lookup, okay, and the returns, store lookup, and transaction. So at this moment, we are ready for doing the pivot table analysis, right? But should we do it now? No, because we better have a look on the diagram first. Because we need to know, okay, which table are upstream, which table are downstream, right? If we get mixed, then there will be have some error, okay, carry out. So what should we do here is, okay, just jump back to the alternate tab, jump back to the PowerPivot, and go to the diagram view, okay, to have a look. So just have a look here. Okay, what we got here is transaction is downstream. And for the customer lookup, customer is on the upstream, right? That means, okay, we can making use of the customer lookup, okay, to do some calculation, okay, and filter the transaction. At the same time, we can use the store lookup to do some filtering, okay, for doing the calculation for the transaction as well. So let's just have a look, okay, on the calculation, okay. So alternate tab, back to the table here. For example, okay, I would like to making use of the customer lookup, okay, to perform some calculation on the transaction. So how to do it? Over here, just click the customer lookup. For the customer lookup, over here, I would like to use the customer city, okay, to do some analysis. Customer city, check to the row section over here. Then over here, you can see all the customer city, right? This is point number 1. And what next is the something about the transaction, right? For the transaction, okay, I would like to, okay, do some calculation, okay, on the quantity, okay. I would like to drag and drop, okay, to do some analysis on the quantity of the means that the product purchase, okay, for each city, okay, which the customers are located. This is what I would like to do, right? And what next is here, because as I mentioned before, okay, over here for transaction, okay, I've already used some calculation inside the PowerPivot, okay, to calculate the number of transaction for the table, right? Okay, the number of transaction, I just simply drag and drop the number of transaction. See what happened over here. Can you see here? Because for the number of transaction, I've already told you one thing. That is, because for the customer lookup, this is the upstream table. And for the transaction table, which is a downstream table, that means we can use the upstream table to filter the downstream table. Am I right? So, that's why when I drag and drop the quantity, okay, it will automatically to calculate to sum up the quantity, okay, as per the what? The location, as per the customer ID inside the transaction table. Am I right? And also for the number of transaction, although we just doing once, okay, inside the data wheel to give a number, something like that, 26,000 was it 269,000, okay. Okay, for this one, okay, altogether this is the 269,000, okay, rows over here. However, why it will alter, okay, according to different city? The reason is because, as I mentioned before, because this one is the upstream and this one is downstream. The upstream table can act as a filter for the downstream table. So that's why this calculation for the __ trans, okay, then it will according to the filter from the upstream table to do the calculation for us. So that's why after we drag and drop the __ trans, this measure to the value field over here inside the pivot table, then it will give us the analysis like this to give us the number of transaction, okay, for each city. Is here? On number chart, because you didn't create it. You did. Because I just try in Antonia's machine, okay, after I type the calculator, the measures over there, it appear at once. Yeah, so that's why maybe your machine is out of memory right now. Yeah, yes, it's very, very, very easy to run out memory. Okay, because for this kind of large scale calculation and data analysis, it is very easy to run out of memory. Yeah. So that's why I need to bring my own machine. Okay, here. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Now, is it clear? Okay. This is that is why. Okay, we like to use the measures. Okay, just like the one over here. As I try here. Okay, I just key in __ trans and colon equal to count rows like this. Okay, I just recap. Okay, because this table trans is a downstream table. Okay, so that's why over here in the diagram, as we can see here in the diagram, the upstream table like the customer lookup, we can making use of customer lookup as a filter to filter all the information from the trans table. So that's why whenever we do some calculation on the quantity and the trans, okay, the filter will base on the selection, okay, from the customer _ lookup table. Is it clear? Okay, that is what I would like to show you and demonstrate over here. Okay, this is point number 1 I would like to show you. And now, if say, well, David, can we do some calculation, okay, related to the store lookup, okay, according to the stores, okay. Of course, okay, because for the store, okay, both the store and customer are the upstream table for trans, am I right? So that's why over here we can still add another field. Okay, let's say for store lookup, we got the store city, right? Over here, store cities. We just simply drag and drop the store city to columns here. And then we list. Then what we got here is a table with both the store location and the customer city. Can you see this? The reason why we can assign and operate this kind of calculation without any error is because what? Because both the customer lookup and the store lookup table are on the upstream of transaction table. Or else we do in a reverse way, and it will ask us for what? For there is no relationship between these tables. Okay, please select auto detect or create by yourself. Then they will have some wrong calculation created. So that's why to build this table and make sure the relationship between each table and also which table is upstream and which table is downstream is very, very important over here. Okay? Is it clear? Is it clear? And now, do another thing. Okay, that is about the return quality. The return quantity. Okay? The return quantity. Over here, we've got, okay, this one is the, okay, I would like to make it much more simpler, okay? Move here and move the store look up here. And the, here is the returns and here is the transaction. Okay, just have a look over here. Both, okay, both. The store lookup over here, okay, we've got the transaction. Transaction is actually the total transaction, right? The total transaction. Okay, the total quantity of the, okay, here is the quantity, okay, in the transactions, okay. That means for each shop over here, the store table over here is the upstream table, right? And for both the returns table and transaction table are downstream. Do you agree? Do you agree? Because it shows the arrow over here. And now I would like to have an additional calculation for store lookup. I would like to know, okay, the returns rate of each store. The return rate of each store. For example, let's imagine if the store are selling t-shirts, okay, I would like to calculate the percentage of returns for each store. Then how to do it? That is very important, right? So how to do it? So what I'm trying to do is like this, okay. I just go back to the pivot table. Basically, in the pivot table, we still have another operation. Okay, can you see over here, once we choose the PowerPivot option over here, we can find something called the measures, right? Called the measures. And then under the measures over here, we just click the measures. And over here, we've got two options. The first one is new measures. And the second one is the manage measures, right? Just simply click the manage measures, see what happens. As we know, we just create one measures inside which table? Inside the transaction table. Am I right? Inside the transaction table. Show us, okay, we have already created one measure for the num_trans, which is to calculate the number of transactions over there. Am I right? So what next? If you would like to create some new measures, so what should you do? Can you see here? We've got a button called new. Just simply click new. And then over there, I would like to calculate the percentage of returns. So what should you do? As I can remember, okay, I would like to calculate as per stores, the percentage of return, okay, per stores. So what should I do? I just go to the store lookup. Store lookup. And then over here, I just want to calculate Okay, I just try, okay? Maybe this is wrong, okay? I need to bear you in mind, okay? Maybe this is wrong, okay? Okay, I have reason, okay, why? Because I would like to try something wrong, basically. Okay, now I would like to calculate percentage, okay? Percentage return, underscore return. And if you would like to have some description for this formula, okay, you may type over here. But now, okay, since David is a lazy guy, okay, I don't want to have any percentage return calculation. And now, what I'm going to do is use some formula to calculate the return percentage. So, for convenience, okay, I've already shown a very useful function called what? divid, divide, right? Divide what? Divide certain field from certain field, right? The certain field is for the what? For the transaction table. From the transaction table, we've got something called the transaction quantity, right? This is a transaction quantity, and also here we've got something called something from the return. From the return over there, we've got the return quantity. If have error, then return 0. Is it here? If say, okay, you know what does it mean? Okay, that means we will use the return quantity divided by the transaction quantity. If the transaction, if this calculation give error, then the value will become 0. Is it clear? I've already told you before, right? And also for the format, I would like it changed to what? Number. And the number should be percentage. And correct to the 2 decimal place. Okay? If you would like to have the 1000 separator, just do it. And also before the actual calculation, you may take this option called check formula, see whether have some error or not. And if finally got it, wow, error. That means although you can type the formula, it doesn't work. Why? Why? Just fall back here. Okay, for the transaction, okay, and for the what? For the returns, both of them are come from what? Downstream table. Can you see this? Both of them are come from downstream table. What does it mean? That means these two tables should have no relationship between each other, right? Okay, I just can find, okay, if we would like to really filter these two tables, what we can do here is what? Is to use the upstream table, store lookup to filter both information and then to perform the calculation. So that's why the calculation I just typed is invalid. Okay, I just want to demonstrate this thing to you. That is because, okay, both tables belongs to the downstream table. That means they didn't know each other without the store lookup. So that's why, okay, this calculation is invalid. Is it clear? So what should we do? That means we need to do it in another manner. So how to do it? Okay, let us do it in another way. Okay, I just drag and drop. Okay, we remove all the things first. Okay, to make it become a normal pivot table. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is like this. Okay, because as I mentioned before, okay, we should use the what? The store. Okay, to connect both of them, right? So over here, what I'm trying to do is use the store location, okay, or maybe an area code. Can you see here the store lookup? Okay, we have so many fields over here. Okay, maybe I would like to use the store ID or maybe the store name. Okay, over here we've got something called the store name. Can you see the store name under the store table? Just simply drag and drop the store name over here to the rows. We've got store 1, 10, 11, something like that, right? And then what next? That is, okay, with store as a filter, we can do calculation for both what? Both the what? Returns and what? and the transaction quantity, right? So we simply check the quantity to value. Okay? Transaction quantity to value. And check the return quantity to value again. So now what we got here is we've got both the sum of quantity. The first one should be the total quantity. Oh, sorry. Oh, Control Z. No problem. Okay, check again. Okay. Because they're both with the same name, okay, I didn't connect, okay, which to which. Okay, I do it again, okay. Okay, first of all, okay, jet this, okay, here, okay. So, I changed the name first, okay. This one is the total quantity, okay. Quantity. Quantity, right? Total quantity. And what next? That is another table. Which one? Return. Drag it up over here. And then here I will duplicate. We name it as the return underscore quantity. Quantity. Hey, come on. Then we've got this, okay, the quantity, total quantity and return quantity, right? We have already linked them together, right? And now what happened? Okay, now I would like to calculate percentage, okay, the return percentage. So how to do it? And then at this moment, again, go to the what? Measure. And now, because we have already know, okay, for manage measure, we also have a features called new measures, okay, to create new measures, right? And now for this one, I just simply click the shortcut key, new measure. And then over here, I just to tell the system, okay, if you got the calculation, please store those information under the store underscore lookup. And this measure is return percentage. Percent. P-L-C-N-T-A-G-E. Okay. And over here, do something like this. Divide. Divide what? Divide the total, the return quantity. Return quantity. 哎呀，佢用咗個舊名㗎啦係，又係舊名。Okay, I still can't solve this problem. Okay, because okay, this is the old name. Okay, sum of quantity 2. Okay, I need to fix it. Okay, next time. Okay. Okay, sum of quantity 2. Basically, sum of quantity 2 is what? It's the return quantity, right? And here, I would like to type is the sum of what? The quantity, right? If got some problem, error, then return 0. That means, what does it mean? That means use this calculation divided by this calculation. And then, if there's some error, return 0. And over here, if number, percentage, and give thousand separate. Is it clear? Okay? Because for this scenario, okay, I still don't know why I cannot change the name. Because according to the Microsoft, okay, the steps, okay, it should be able to change the step like this. I need to sort it out what happened, okay, then there should be something wrong. Because the version I'm using, but actually I would like to ask, whether or not your version can change the name or not. No, still cannot, okay. I need to double check, okay. And now, at this moment, I just want to try, okay, to check the formula, see whether it is correct or not. Oh, no error. Okay? So, okay, see what happened. See, return percentage is like this. Is it clear? Okay, if you would like to reverse back, it's very simple. Go to the measure, go to the manage measures, And then over here, we've got something called the what? Return percentage, right? Take this, add it. Is it okay? Basically, this is the base operation of the PowerPivot. Is it useful to you? I think most of the features is very useful because as you know, okay, for example, because in the old time, most of you, okay, didn't know, okay, the relationship clearly, especially, okay, this part, okay, the upstream and downstream concept. Okay, if you find that, okay, there are some problem related to the upstream and downstream problem, okay, for example, like this, okay, you cannot use the transaction table to filter the upstream customer lookup table. Okay, this is the point number one I would like to mention. If you find that, okay, just like, okay, what I just showed over here, the returns table and transaction table has no relationship, then what should you do? Then you need to, first of all, to use what? Use a pivot table to do some calculation first, and by means of the store table. And then after that, you can part both of the calculation to do further calculation and put the final result back to the store underscore lookup table, just like what showing here. Can you see this? Because I have already created a field called return underscore percentage. So from now on, you can find the result over here in the return underscore percentage. If you click the data view over here and go to the store underscore lookup result, and over here, you can see a new measure downstairs, like this. The percentage is 0.99. That means more or less like 1% return rate as a whole. Okay? Is it here? This is basically, okay, what I would like to go through today. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let me show you more, okay. Basically, for those DAX formula, okay, and the basic operation DAX operation formulas, okay, here is to demonstrate why, okay, the error occur. I've already demonstrated, okay, why this error occur, right? And also go through what is the upstream and downstream, and here also differentiate clearly, okay, what is calculated column and what is measures. Okay, I've already go through it. Okay, besides, okay, you can add the measures under the calculated field under each table inside the PowerPivot editor. Also, you can do it inside the explicit measure dialog box. Okay, I just show you, okay, how to do it. And also, if you say, I would like to further know more about the function of DX functions, okay, basically, they are those common DX functions that we will frequently use in the PowerPivot. Basically, as you can see here, most of them, okay, the syntax is more or less like that of a Microsoft Excel. But of course, okay, for me, I will tell you, okay, the most useful features, okay, and other multiple features are if, switch, and also something called the calculate over here. But I have no time to go through this function. And also this kind of DX formulas are very complicated. However, it is also very useful. But I have no time to go through it today. So that's why I just left it, okay, maybe to another lesson. Okay, because this is quite complicated. For today's session, I think some of the colleagues may be not so keen in what is LDBMS, maybe got lost, maybe got lost, okay? But I have already tried my very best to explain, okay, the relationship for between each table, and would like to let you know, okay, how to operate it. Of course, practice make perfect. Please try it, okay, in the real situation at your workplace. This is very, very important. Okay, if no more questions, okay, I think this is the end of this session. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Okay, thank you.